Part one benefit. GM plants may need fewer pesticides. Example, type of corn that hurts pests but doesn't hurt people. It also costs less to buy these corns because they don't contain as much pesticide. GM plants, which can grow better than normal plants, a type of strawberry that can grow in spring and fall where normal ones die. Many GM plants that stay fresh after being harvested. A, a tomato that can stay ripe for 2 months and 2 weeks. It means that it can stay long in store and less food is wasted. Risk. GM plants may dominate other plants. Example, GM tomato plants may start to dominate other plants. This is because they are stronger and grow faster than normal plants. GM plants hurt wild animals and insects. The GM corn kills butterflies. GM food may be harmful to people. To make strawberries stay fresh longer, a fresh's gene is taken to the strawberry. Uh, Question: what is a GM food? GM food is food that has been altered by the lab. The alteration may come from plants or animals. Question: what uh, what fruit was mentioned? Strawberry and tomato. Hi, how's it going? Have you turned in your homework? If so, we can jump right into it. Today I'm going to talk about genetically modified or GM food. GM food is food that has been altered by scientists. The scientists take something from plants or animal and put them in a food or animal. Today we'll take a look at the benefits and some of the risk it may bring. Let's talk about the benefits first. One of the first benefits is that GM food may need fewer pesticides. For example, a type of corn that hurts but doesn't hurt other people. This type of corn is useful as farmers use less pesticides, and the price of this corn is cheaper because of the fewer pesticides. Another benefit of this is GM plants, which can grow better than normal plants. Like an example of this is a strawberry, which can grow in cold weather. These are better than normal ones because farmers can grow them faster in spring and later in the fall, while normal ones die. And that makes another benefit to the GM food. The third one is that many GM foods still fresh after being harvested. An example of this would be a tomato, which can stay fresh for 2 months rather than 2 weeks. This means that it can go from the farm to the store and stay in the market longer, as food is wasted through this. Now we can go to the foreseeable risk that GM food. One risk is that GM food may dominate other plants. An example of this would be GM tomato plant, which are stronger than normal ones, and they grow faster compared to the normal ones. Another risk of this is that GM food hurt other animals and insects. Remember the corn that we were talking about earlier? It has killed butterflies. Butterflies that are good insects which don't eat the corn. It's possible that uh, the corn is killing the butterflies, but we're not sure. All we know is butterflies are dying more than normal. Finally, the third risk or the common risk in GM food may be harmful to those who eat them. The alteration in GM food may cause serious problems. Some of these alterations come from plants and animals. Like the strawberry genes of a fish was taken and put inside the strawberry so that it can live in cold weather. And does that gene affect strawberry? We don't know, but maybe. So we've discussed the the benefits and risks of GM food. Are there any questions? Part two. What's the main topic of the story? It tells about three soldiers trying to answer a dragon's riddle. Mention the characters of each story. The king the three soldiers, the grammar, and the dragon. How many soldiers in that story and mention the problem? There were three soldiers, and their problem was they had to solve the dragon's riddle. What is the dragon's riddle? Mentioned and explain. What goes on four legs, on two legs at noon, and on three legs in the evening? A person walks on four when he's a baby, on two when he's an adult, and on three when he's an old man. Though of great age, I am kept in a cage, having a long tail and one ear, my mouth is round, and when joy is still bound. Oh, then I sing wonderful clear. What am I? A bell. As I was going to St. Ives, I met a man with seven wives. Every wife had seven sacks. Every sack had seven cats. Every cat had seven kids. Kids, cats, sacks, wives. How many were going to St. Ives? Only one. Make a note. Five. Make a note and tell using your own word. It was a war, but the king gave little pay, so three soldiers ran away. They had a large cornfield before they meet a dragon. The dragon gave them 7 years for them to do whatever they wanted or ask a riddle. Nearly 7 years passed, and the third soldier claimed that he can ask a riddle. The third soldier managed his way into the woods and found himself a rock cut. The dragon flew in and mentioned riddles and answers to his grandma, while the third soldier hid. The third soldier got out and thanked the grandma. The dragon flew back and asked them the riddles, and they could answer it. There was once a great war, and the king had a great many soldiers, but he gave them so little pay they could not live upon. And three of them decided to run away from the army. One of them said to the others, "If we're caught, we shall be hanged in the gallows. How shall we set about it?" The others said, "Do you see that large cornfield there? If we hide ourselves in that, no one can find us. The army can't come into it, and tomorrow it is to march on." They crept into the cornfield, but the army did not march on, but remained in camp close to them. They sat for 2 days and 2 nights in corn, and grew so hungry that they nearly died. But if they were to venture out, it was certain death. They said at last, "What use was it, our deserting from the army? We'll die here miserably." While they were speaking, fire dragon came flying through the air. It hovered near them and asked why they were hidden there. They answered, "We are these soldiers, and have deserted because our prey was so small. Now if we remain here, we shall die of hunger. If we move out, we shall be strung up on gallows." "If you will serve me for 7 years," said the dragon, "I will lead you through the midst of the army so that no one shall catch you. No, with no choice but and must take your offers." Then the dragon seized them in its claws, took them through the air or the army, and set them down on earth a long way from it. He gave them a little whip, saying, "Whip and slash with this, and as much money as you want will jump up before you. You can live as great lords, keep horses, and drive about in carriages. But after 7 years, you are mine." And he put a book for them, which he made all three of them sign. "I will then give you three riddles, and if you guess them, you shall be free and out of my power," said the dragon. The dragon then flew away and journeyed on with their little whip. They had as much money as they wanted, wore great clothes, and made their way into the world. Wherever they want, they lived in merrymaking and splendor, drove about with horses and carriage, ate and drank, but did nothing wrong. Time passed by, and when the 7 years ended, both of them grew terribly anxious and frightened. The third made light of it, saying, "Don't be afraid, brothers. I wasn't born yesterday. I will guess the riddles." They went into a field and sat down, and the others too pulled long faces. An old woman passed by and asked them why they were so sad. "Alas, what have we to do with it? You cannot help us." Then they told her that they had become servants of dragons for 7 years. How he had given them plenty of money, but as they signed their names, they were his. Unless when the 7 years had passed, they could guess the riddle. And the old woman said, if you would help yourself, one of you must go into the woods, and there he will come upon a tumble down building of rocks, which looks like a little house. You must go in there, he will, and there he will find help. The two melancholy ones thought that won't save us. They remained where they were, but the third and merry one jumped up and went further into the wood until he found the rock hut. In the hut sat a very old woman who was the dragon's grandmother. She asked him how he came and what was his business there. He told her all the tap. After hearing her story, she would help him. She lifted up a large stone which lay over the ceiling, saying, "Hide yourself there. You can hear anything that is spoken in this room. Only sit and only sit still and don't stir. When the dragon comes, I'll ask him what the riddle is." At midnight, the dragon flew in and asked for supper. His grandma laid the table and brought out the food and drink until he was satisfied. They ate and drank together. In the course of conversation and she asked him what he had done in the day and how Saul had conquered. I haven't had much luck today, he said, but I have a tight hold on 3 soldiers who cannot escape you. They are mine, answered the dragon, for I shall only give them three riddles which they will never be able to guess. What sort of riddles are they? She asked. The first is like this. What goes on 4 legs in the morning, on 2 legs at noon, and 3 legs on the evening? The old lady looked quite baffled. What is it, my grandchild? What does the 4 legs? What does go on 4 legs on two in the morning and 2 legs at noon and 3 legs in the evening? Why, a person does. He crawls on 4 as a baby, walks 2 legs as an adult, and walks walks with 3 legs and walks with 2 legs and a stick in old age. The dragon laughed. No one else has read out cunning shores. They are unlikely to guess the answer for that one. But if they do, what is your second riddle? The dragon replied, his second riddle was just as devious and even prettier, for it was in form of rhyme and well like this. Though of great age, I'm kept in a cage, having a long tail and one ear. My mouth is round, and when joined to bound, all dancing wonderfully clear. What am I? Why, I'm a bell, of course, says Dragon. Oh, you're quite most cunning dragon who lived and breathed fire. What do you have for a final riddle? As I was going to St. Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Every wife has 7 sacks, every sack has 7 cats, every cat has 7 kids. Cats, sacks, and wives. We were going to St. Ives. The old lady could not answer. He said, only one was going to St. Ives. All the others were going their way. The souls of the 3 soldiers are mine for sure. And the dragon ate his supper of hot coals and soup from boiling oil and went to bed. When the dragon was sound asleep, his old grandmother pulled up a stone and let out the soldier. Did you get everything you needed? Yes, he replied. I know enough and help myself to purple. And he went out by another way and went back to his comrades. He told them how Dragon had been outwitted by his grandmother and how he had heard from his own lips the answer to the riddles. They were all delighted and the head spirits took out the whip and cracked so much money it came driving from the ground. When the 7 years had quite gone, the finished dragon came to the soldiers with his book and pointing at the signature said, and now you must answer my riddles or your soul shall be mine for all eternity. What goes on 4 legs, two in the morning, 2 legs on and at noon, and on three legs in the evening. The first fellow replied, "Person." Dragon was much annoyed and asked the next riddle. With great age, I'm kept in a cage, having a long tail on yawn near my mouth. My mouth is round, and when jaws do abound, all dancing round with clear. What am I? A bell, said the second soldier. The dragon made face and growled again 3 times, and said to the third, as I was going to St. Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Every wife had 7 sacks, every sack had 7 cats, every cat had 7 kids, kids, cats, sacks, and wives. How many were going to St. Ives? Only one, replied the third soldier. Then the dragon flew away with a loud shriek and had no more power over them. The three soldiers took a little whip and whipped as much money as they wanted and lived happily to their life's end. Part 3. Helena is outdoors again to rock her baby to sleep. Mother Nature was singing a lullaby too, while tucking some little brown cradles. Next time Helena came out, the babies in the treetop were waking up. When spring went away, the babies had grown large and strong and put on green parasols. When autumn came, Mother Nature gave the babies a holiday, and then they left the maple tree and left her king winter. Helena was playing with her dolls under a maple tree in the garden. It was the first day of spring, and the little girl was glad to be outdoors again and to rock her babies to sleep on one of the low branches. But she was not singing a lullaby on that bright sunny morning. Our nature was singing one too, and soft breeze was gently tucking some little burn candles to and fro in the treetops. Some were very small, while others were large, but each held a baby fast asleep. The next time Helena came to play, the babies in the treetop were waking up, and she could see them in their green nightdress, peeping out at the world. The following week, they grew a great deal. And one of them crept out of the cradle so it fell down to the ground, leaving, leaving the baby still up in the treetop. By the time spring went away, the babies had grown large and strong and spread beautiful green parasols to give shade to their friends through the hot, dusty days of summer. When autumn came, Mother Nature gave them a holiday, and they looked very pretty with their gay gowns as they frolicked with the wind. Then they said goodbye to the maple tree and went dancing and rolling over the fields to meet King Winter. When Helena looked into their old homes and trees, she found more tiny brown carrots and knew that in terms of the new that in them were newly babies that sleep safely until spring comes again to visit Earthdom, which and wakes each baby in treetop. Part 4. Uh, Happy people are satisfied with life. Unhappy people are not satisfied. Happy people are optimistic. Unhappy people are pessimistic. Happy people are close to their how happy people are close with other people. Unhappy people are not close with other people. How the question is what did the scientists ask as how to be happy and how why are happy people like this? They are satisfied with their life. Why are happy people optimistic? Because they believe things will improve. What what are the factors of being happy? Satisfied with their life and being optimistic, having close relationship with family and friends. Hi, good morning. Did you hear about Larry Warner last night? The man won about $3 million. That's a lot of money. And people said the more money will make them happy. But this is true. Today we're going to look at the psychology of happiness. We took we'll look at The three personality traits that psychologists seem to find after asking hundreds of people. We look at the difference from happy and unhappy people. Here are the things that we found. Happy people feel satisfied with themselves as they are. This feeling of happiness comes from the inside, not something from the outside. And unhappy people won't feel satisfied in their life. They feel something must change. They always look for something outside themselves for happiness, but never find it. Second personality trait is happy people are optimistic. They assume that things will improve. They don't worry a lot and think about all the bad things that can happen. They have a positive attitude. And unhappy people are the opposite. They are not optimistic and don't have a positive attitude. When they have a problem, I think about how bad everything is and assume it will get worse. The third personality trait is happy people have good relationship with other people. They try to have close, loving relationship with friends and family. Close, loving relationships are one of the most important factors in achieving happiness. Happy people don't spend all the time building a career or trying to make money. They also spend time building relationships with friends and family. Unhappy people don't have as many close relationships. They may have trouble making friends. They may spend all the time working and then find out that they're all very lonely and unhappy. For whatever reason, they don't have close relationship and this makes them unhappy. This tells us what This tells us that having more money doesn't assume that you will be happier. There are other important factors in achieving happiness.